What is going on, Pats Nation? It's your boy Colby, also known as Patriots Global, back here with another video. Got some breaking news here as the New England Patriots have finally reached that extension with running back Rhamondre Stevenson, and let me tell you, they are giving him an absolute bag, a massive contract that I didn't see coming, and I have a couple of mixed thoughts on this, and we're going to get into it in today's video. But signing Rhamondre Stevenson to a 4-year contract extension worth $36 million. This does not say up to, it just says worth $36 million. The deal also includes $17 million in guaranteed money. Now, according to Ian Rappaport, the Patriots are also going to be giving him an $8 million signing bonus, and there are a lot of incentives here for Rhamondre also. A $12 million available incentive if he's able to reach at least 1,400 yards and become either a Pro Bowler or All-Pro. Before we continue on the video, make sure you guys do leave a big like on the video. It really does help support out the channel. And of course, subscribe to the channel for all of your Patriots news if you have not already. About 40% of you guys watching the videos are not subscribed. It would mean the world to me if you help support the channel by just hitting that subscribe button. Now, I'm a big Rhamondre Stevenson fan. He has been the best all-around 3-down running back that the Patriots have had in years. It seems like the Patriots have always been a running back by committee type of team in that Bill Belichick, Tom Brady era. I mean, Rex Burkhead, James White, Dion Lewis, Sony Michel. Those are just the guys to name in recent years, all kind of having their own kind of specific role. But with Rhamondre Stevenson, when the Patriots drafted him in 2021, yeah, it did take about a season to a season and a half for him to get truly acclimated, but he's a guy that is able to be a pure #1 running back. He's somebody that's able to significantly help you as a receiving back. He's easily right now the best pass protecting running back that the Patriots have on the depth chart. But he's currently 26 years old. By the time his rookie contract officially wraps up, he's going to be 27 years old, which is going to put this contract, by the time that he is a free agent, he's going to be 31 years old. Having him signed for 5 more seasons under contract was a bit surprising to me, and it's not something that I personally would have done because I need to see how Rhamondre Stevenson is going to come back this season in 2024. Let's keep in mind, he is coming off of a season-ending injury that he suffered in Week 13, which was a high ankle sprain. Now, high ankle sprains, they're not all that serious. They can linger a little bit, but they're not, torn ACLs, torn Achilles, things that can really end a player's career or can take multiple seasons to bounce back from. But nonetheless, every player comes back from injuries in different ways. Every player is different when it comes to injuries and if they're able to bounce back or not. And Rhamondre Stevenson has a lot of tread on his tires, more specifically from the 2022 season. In 2022, he had over 1,400 all-purpose yards, and if anybody watched the Patriots offense in 2022, you would remember that Rhamondre was the Patriots offense. He was the reason that that team had any success offensively in 2022, but he was given 133 rush attempts in 2021, and that's when he was kind of a split back between him and Damien Harris, not to mention the fact that he also put up 14 receptions that season. Then you get into 2022 and the workload takes a gigantic step forward. He has 210 rush attempts for 1,040 yards and 5 touchdowns. He was averaging that season, I believe it was 4.5 yards per carry, but to go on top of that, he had 69 receptions for 421 yards. Then you bounce back to this past season where, yes, Ezekiel Elliott was part of that 1-2 punch with him and Rhamondre Stevenson, but before that injury to Damien Harris, or not Damien Harris, but that injury to Rhamondre Stevenson, he already put up 156 total rush attempts for 619 yards, 4 touchdowns, and then to go along with that in the passing game, hauled in another 38 receptions for 238 yards. The Patriots were running Rhamondre Stevenson through the ground. So what I personally would have done is I would have kept this on a bit of a shorter deal again, a 2-year extension, which locks him up for 3 more seasons under contract. You know, he's able to become a free agent before he's 30, and you can kind of reevaluate him as a player to where if he shows that he's healthy, he shows that he still has enough juice in the tank, you give him another contract or you give him an extension. You go back and you renegotiate what that contract is. But right now, they're kind of hell-bent for the next 5 seasons, and you're kind of just locking yourself into a player that I think has a lot to prove coming back. As we all know, the air quote smart thing to do for NFL teams is to not give a running back a second contract. That's like the famous thing to say in the NFL these days when it comes to running backs. The popular thing to do is to kind of cycle through these guys. Every 4 years, you head into the draft and you use a second, a third, a fourth round pick, and that's how you find your next guy who you don't have to pay to a massive lucrative deal. You're only keeping him on a rookie contract for 4 years. Now, despite being a little bit weary about the years, I do think that it was a very good idea to extend Rhamondre Stevenson because he fits perfectly into this Alex Van Pelt system and what the Patriots are going to try to do offensively. Let's keep in mind, Alex Van Pelt, when he was the offensive coordinators for the Browns, that offense was a mainly run-based offense, really premiered and centered around Nick Chubb. And Rhamondre Stevenson said this offseason that he's been watching a lot of Nick Chubb's film to try to get acclimated to what the offense is going to be asking of him. Okay, although you did just draft Drake May with a 3rd overall pick, although you did just draft 2 wide receivers in this draft class, don't expect this upcoming season at least to be heavy in terms of the passing offense. A lot of this weight is going to be put on the running game, especially early on in the season. And although Bill Belichick over the last few years has asked Rhamondre to do really so much, I mean, more than I feel like any running back has been asked to do in recent years here in New England, I think the overall responsibilities and workload that Rhamondre is going to get this upcoming season is more than he's ever had, at least at the NFL level. And I don't feel comfortable saying that there's a lot of different players I would take in fantasy football that's a Patriots player, but Rhamondre Stevenson is one of the very few players that I would draft in fantasy football this upcoming season because of that workload he's going to get. Now, in terms of where Rhamondre Stevenson is going to rank with highest paid running backs in the NFL, we do still have to see the numbers. There's a lot of details that still have to come out, especially on what he's getting on a year-to-year basis. Are there void years in the contract at all? But it looks like, according to my calculations, he's probably going to fit into the 7th highest paid running back in the National Football League, making an average annual value of about $9 million per year. That's kind of sandwiched between Joe Mixon, who's the 6th highest paid running back in the NFL, making about $9.8 million per year, and then Derrick Henry, who would now be the 8th highest paid running back in the NFL, making about $8 million per year. So the guys that would be paid higher than Rhamondre would be guys like Christian McCaffrey, Alvin Kamara, Jonathan Taylor, Saquon Barkley, Josh Jacobs, Joe Mixon, but Rhamondre would be making more money than Derrick Henry, DeAndre Swift, Tony Pollard, Aaron Jones, James Conner. At the end of the day, I definitely think that in hindsight, this does look like a little bit of an overpay, but with where the league is going in terms of cap space and money, in a couple years, we might be looking back and saying that this is actually a super team-friendly contract. Not just that, but if Rhamondre can stay healthy and he starts rushing for 1,100 yards or even more this upcoming season and in seasons to come, then again, he's well worth that $9 million annually that he's making. What you also have to understand, too, is that the atmosphere the Patriots are trying to build is one that takes care of its own players. And the Patriots are really trying to reset this image that I think Bill Belichick in recent years has kind of tarnished, which has put a bad name on the name of the New England Patriots and has kind of had players shy away from wanting to be here and wanting to sign here. These contracts that Elliott Wolf has given out this offseason and these extensions, Rhamondre Stevenson included, showcases that it doesn't matter what position you're at. It doesn't matter what the popular thing to do is league-wide. If you are a player that is good for us and is consistent for us and you take care of us, then we are going to take care of you. And I think that that is a philosophy that could potentially bite them in the butt if it's a bad contract and a bad player down the road, but I think it will also make New England a more intriguing place for players to want to come play for down the road, which could also be very, very beneficial for this team. Overall, I do like the move. I like bringing back Rhamondre Stevenson on a contract extension. Again, he's been one of the most consistent players for the Patriots since being drafted in 2021. But again, in hindsight, maybe a little bit of an overpay and definitely a bigger contract than I had expected him to get. But what are your guys' thoughts? Let me know in the comment section below. Remember to leave a big like on the video and, of course, subscribe to the channel for all of your New England Patriots news. I appreciate you all so much for watching. But of course, most importantly, never forget, go Pats.